Hello, welcome back to Destiny. Say, Doobie, what do you think of raiding? Did I just call you Doobie? I mean Grayfawks.
Who?
I think I got you confused with someone else. Fox, what do you think of raiding?
It's long.
Is it long and hard?
Hard. Long. Yeah.
You may notice that we're not getting a prelude talking at here. That is because the raids, or at least the Vault of Glass, which is the only one I've technically completed, the Vault of Glass does not have any story attached to it. When we post this video in the thread, when it comes time to update it, I'll let you know what's going down. Until then, however, welcome. We're not in the Vault of Glass yet.
As always, it starts.
Yeah, so this first encounter, while technically a part of the raid, is not yet the raid. It's hard to explain. This is basically the, hey, are you smart enough to figure out how to even get in kind of check?
Well, you don't know what the answer would be for me.
Resounding no. Anyway, so basic gist of this encounter is you have these 3 sync plates, and you want to keep the rings blue.
So here's something.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that enemy before.
The Praetorian?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't. You're right. The Praetorian is specifically in the Vault of Glass. It is an upgraded version of a Minotaur, and they are assholes.
I was going to say very similar to a Minotaur, but
Yeah.
they don't exist in Destiny 2 from what I've seen.
Praetorians? No, they do not. As far as I've seen either. Anyway, so the main thing about the Praetorians is that they will constantly try and get into your blue sync plate. And if that happens, they take them back. And you need these sync plates to remain blue until I didn't pan over it while I was on this side, but there's a spire forming to our right in the center of the ruins.
Way to show off everything about this game, Python.
Oh, you were going to look at it, don't you worry. It's just not yet. Another small note. I have kind of accidentally shown off a little bit from the future here. You see, my Titan, because that's who I'm playing right now. My Titan is a subclass that we have not seen in the roundup yet.
Oh dear.
Also, just don't play Punch Out with Praetorians. It doesn't work.
I'm pretty sure their mechanical noise is a donkey slowed down.
Oh boy. So, my Titan here is level 40. And my buddy Amethyr, he's also level 40. And we're like level 200 plus. Like, my Titan at this point is like 290 to 310, somewhere in there. And Amethyr's 400. This is a raid tuned for level 26. The way light levels used to work is that you would get gear after the main story was done, after you hit level 20, and depending on the numerical values of the gear, you would gain another actual level, so you would be level 21 despite the cap being 20. Nowadays, it's become an actual light level. It's a completely separate thing from your actual level, and this level 26 raid is tuned for light level 130. Now, again, we're well above 130, but we are still getting murdered. So we can't really rest on our heels here. We have to actually do things the proper way, or else we're gonna die horribly.
I'm guessing that's some kind of scaling.
Yeah. Well, also the thing about it is, raids are 6-man dungeons, more or less, and we're doing this as 3. Well, for this beginning part, at least, we're doing this as 3. And there we have it. The spire's formed and activated. And once I look over to it, the door will be all lit up and fancy and shiny. See there. There's the spire.
Yay. It's definitely big and spire-like.
Mm-hmm. And you remember how I mentioned that the door looked like a Vex head? Or rather, a goblin head?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here.
Can I just mention the goblins look slightly different to the ones in Destiny 2?
I think that can be attributed to separate factions. Because as we'll see later, later in this video actually, there are separate little sects of Vex thanks to their whole time fuckery.
Mm-hmm. Future, past, and present.
And for completing the Spire challenge, we'll call it, here's a loot box.
Beautiful.
Yay. This one gave me upgrade materials that are completely useless nowadays. In fact, I think I still have like 100 of these damn things sitting in my vault. But past that, we're actually moving on to our first actual boss encounter now. But not before some creative platforming and or jumping puzzles.
Also, I do like this music, very Vex.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Vex would be into techno.
I believe the correct term nowadays is electronica, sir.
Sure. I mean, I feel like in terms of Vex electronica, if they listen to our electronica, it would send a message. Maybe that's why they hate us.
Well, they
It was
definitely
binary
don't like dubstep.
signals. Yeah, it was binary signals getting sent to them that said, "Fuck all Vex." Now they're mad at us.
So during the live recording, I will be posting a segment of our live exploits. But during the live recording, that was me trying to explain the fight very poorly. And we have seen the weapon that I'm carrying right now before. This scout, well, not this one, but the scout rifle.
Oh, have we?
Mm-hmm. Way back when, I mentioned it was a loot reward from this very instance.
Does it begin with an M?
No.
Oh.
Nope, it's the Vision of Confluence, one of the only primary weapons with an elemental damage type.
Interesting.
There are a few others, but mostly are like exotics, for instance.
I'm going to assume it acts like a kinetic weapon.
Yeah, it operates in the same principles, yes. The difference being now you can take down solar shields with it.
Fantastic.
And the reason I have it equipped currently is because of something that if you upgrade this thing, we'll see in a bit exactly what that is. I'll explain it better then too. So here we are in the Templar's Well is what it's called in the bosses. Well, his name is the Templar.
No, you're lying.
I know, shocking, but it's true. Anyway, this first bit, it's wave defense, and more wave defense. We gotta stop the Vex from trying to assimilate with a conflux in the rear of the room that I kind of looked at when we began the encounter, but didn't like really bother to look at too much.
Destiny 1.0 raids.
Yeah. So, Fanatics, well, they're pretty true to their name, actually. They like to run up at you and explode. And then they leave green void zones, which is tied to another mechanic. This is going to take a while. So, if you walk into those green void zones, you will be marked for negation. And the Templar, every so often, does a spell called Ritual of Negation. Like, yeah, you see in the text in the bottom left there. If you're marked while he does the ritual, you instantly die.
Oh, of course, that sounds like a Destiny raid to me.
For the first few phases of the fight, while you're still defending the confluxes and whatnot, there's a well just beneath where the Templar spawns that'll cleanse it off. But once that despawns, if you get marked and he does the ritual, you're just done. You're done. There are other sources of being marked for negation than just these pools, but we'll see them in a few minutes.
So the Templar looks very vaguely like a Hydra.
He is. He is, in fact,
No.
a Hydra.
Really?
Well, he's a much more impressive Hydra than the ones you just see kind of floating around, but yeah, he is, in fact, a Hydra model.
I will admit, Destiny 2 raid has a wave defense area, but it feels less boring than this.
Well, okay. It is much more boring to watch this than it is to play this, because holy shit, there are a ton of things that are trying to murder you in your face at any given
Is there any
point.
better way to murder someone?
I mean, not that I can tell.
Have you murdered someone in their face today?
No, although I dearly wish I would have.
So while I mentioned Destiny 2, I gotta say, there is some hard shit in that game.
Oh. Yeah, there's a few sticky spots. That's for sure.
Oh, nice. I love physics. That Vex's arm and its leg was doing the robot.
Yeah, imagine.
Man, when all those fanatics died, Python, it kind of looks like an electric avenue.
Why? Why? Say hello to my hammer. I love my hammer. There are many like it, but this one is mine. It murders things very efficiently.
Would you say it's hammer time?
I would.
Well, you better stop then.
It's never not hammer time, okay? So, for clarification, I'm not going to explain it all together that well because it's not part of where we're at just yet. But the subclass I'm using is a Sunbreaker Titan. You've seen its trick. I spawn hammers. Hammers hurt a lot. Yeah.
They exist in Destiny 2. I played one. They're fun.
They are fun. So much fun. I feel like it's actually shorter in the second game. I feel like the super doesn't last as long.
It felt shorter by like maybe a couple of seconds, but I wouldn't say a massive length difference.
Well, I'll say this. I could feel it. Like, when I first unlocked it, and when I first unlocked it was shortly after I just got finished playing this game for a while. When I unlocked it, it felt vastly shorter. To me, at least. Anyway, that's not this game. This game, we're still doing this. This song and dance.
So how do you unlock new classes in this game?
Okay, so you start out as your first subclass, of course. For hunters, that's the gunslinger. For warlocks, it's the voidwalker, and for titans, it's a striker. And at level 15, you gain access to your second one. And for the first year of Destiny, until the Taken King came out, those were the only two you had access to per class. And then when the Taken King came out, they added a third one to round out all three elements. And yeah, that's where Sunbreaker comes from. Because, you know, Striker Titans are Ard, Defender Titans are Void. I'm dead. There was nothing I was going to be able to do there. I was just straight up dead. But yeah.
So you didn't finish off what you were saying.
That was more or less the end.
Did you say how you unlocked them?
I was actually just about to get to that. For Taken King, they added class quests that unlocked shortly after beginning the Taken King campaign. We'll be seeing all three of them, and I'll let the thread decide which one they want to see, because we're only going to showcase one of them there.
Right. Can I say this is more like a endurance test?
Oh, that was that. And this is now. Now are oracles. Now we start getting into the puzzle. So I mentioned the Vision of Confluence was good for one very specific reason. The oracles are that reason. The Vision of Confluence kills these things in 5 shots. Point blank, no ifs, ands, or buts, 5 shots. If you hit it 5 times, it's dead. Which is a good thing, because if those oracles stay alive too long, they mark you for negation.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Each oracle has its own specific sound cue. During the recording here, I wasn't playing with audio, audible, so I couldn't quite tell, which is why you see me constantly checking my corners when I see they've spawned in the text box there. I'll constantly take looks around and make sure I'm not missing one that I should definitely be taking care of. That being said, I still miss one. There's one, that wall that I was just looking at, it's further down in that area.
So how come the whatever of influence takes them down in 5 hits, but no other gun does?
Well, that's the thing, is that if you've leveled the Vision of Confluence up enough and you've actually spent upgrade materials on it, there is a weapon-specific buff that says this is an Oracle Killer. In fact, that's what the talent is called, is Oracle Killer. Basically, when the Vault of Glass was new, the Vision of Confluence was basically the main weapon. I think there were 1 or 2 others that also had the buff, the talent. I think one was a machine gun or something. But if you had a Vision of Confluence, things were looking pretty good for you.
Right.
It was also very, very, very good in the Crucible. Okay, so when you start with the Oracle phase, Hobgoblins start spawning. And they are a constant annoyance. You can never get rid of them completely until you've gotten out of this phase. Best I can say is get used to shooting at them.
And this fight's going on a while, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Vault of
Does it
Glass
take this
only...
long with 6 people?
Yes, because it's a timer. It's timed to
See-
how many oracles have spawned.
See, this is what I thought. So with 6, how many? 6 people in a raid?
Mm-hmm.
With 6 people, this still takes just as long.
Well, in this specific case, yes.
But with 6 people, it would be a lot easier at the light level you guys are at right now.
Oh, it would be an absolute cakewalk and a half. We'd have 6 weapons firing and taking care of ads and just kind of, you know, sauntering through things here. As it stands, we're getting a little swamped. Or a little more than I would like, I should clarify. And it'll only get worse from here. So, as I was about to mention, the Vault of Glass only really has 2 boss encounters, both of which are fairly long and complex. Like, the Templar spends all this time, first you're defending confluxes, and then you're destroying oracles. Now, the oracles, they're trying to teach you something here. They're trying to show you something that will happen when you're actually fighting the Templar. As for the conflicts, I have no idea what that was about. It was just a cheap way of extending the raid encounter.
Warlocks and their floaty Sith powers.
Yeah, that's another Taken King class that we haven't seen yet, and will not
Look
be
away.
explained. Yes,
Ignore what you just saw.
Just look away from the entire video. You know, all this hammer talk, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's clearly we're losing our minds.
Leave the video running. Just look away and
Yeah.
block your ears.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, this encounter with 3 people can actually get very, very hairy. And if you die in any of the raids in Destiny 1, there is a 30-second wait before you can be revived. And there is no self-respawn. You have to wait to be revived.
Of course there is.
Oh no. Destiny 1 raids, while fairly simple, were also fairly difficult. Until you learned the secrets. Because, like the strikes, the raid has ways of, let's call it, creatively ending encounters. Now, during this video, we did everything as legitimately as we possibly could. Mostly because we couldn't remember any other way to do it.
Okay, I'm listening.
So the way we haven't really gotten to the point where we can actually cheese the Templar. All of this would have to be done, regardless of which method you use.
Oh, is this the one where you hide in the corner?
No. Well, technically
Ah.
yes, but no. It's a little more involved than that.
You hide in the corner while crouched.
No, actually, that's just completely wrong.
You hide in the corner while jumping up and down.
Closer, but no.
And patting your head and rubbing your stomach.
Definitely not.
Don't know, I'm all out of ideas.
So there's probably 1 or 2 more rounds of throws, and then we're actually to a point in which we can actually fight the boss.
Oh, good. Because I've been waiting for this boss for like 25 minutes now.
So the nifty thing about this arena is that there are multiple different sight lines to the oracles. You aren't just restricted to whichever side you're on. You can actually help out your teammates if they should need it.
Vex architecture. Not only is it great for jumping puzzles, but it's also great sight lines.
Sometimes. It's also very square.
Sometimes, only when it inconveniences them.
Goddamn hobgoblins. I wish they would just stop spawning up there. It's very annoying to deal with when I have no access to sniper rifles. And the best I can do is scout rifle.
See, the Vex strike me as a logical sword. So there would be a logic to the way they construct things.
Yes.
And their logic is they have a fetish for being destroyed.
Guardian down.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Just replace a word in there.
Well, I do have one thing interesting to note about this, is that most times when using a scout rifle against a hobgoblin, if you don't take off their head in one shot, they will turtle up immediately. But if you've been paying any attention, and I don't blame you if you haven't, Fox, but I've actually been managing
why am I
to get...
put out? Hello?
Because you're the one most likely to stop paying attention.
It's true, I've already fallen asleep.
Anyway, I've actually been managing to get 2 shots in on them somehow. I don't understand it. I don't claim to know why, but it happened, and I'm not too displeased by that fact.
Well, I'm not sure if it works the same as Destiny 1 as it does in Destiny 2, but if you hit enemies in weak points, generally they will stumble.
Well, that's the thing about Vex, is that they don't normally stumble. Like, it takes a remarkable sort of impact to make Vex stumble. Or, you know,
I don't know, maybe just firing fast enough.
It could be. I don't know.
I'm liking these little musical interludes.
They're very friendly.
So what are the oracles? Are they Vex constructions or what?
They are constructs specifically of the Templar, as far as I'm able to remember. The Templar made them, and they basically... Actually, no, the Templar didn't make them, but they're early warning systems, more or less, for the Vex time fuckery. And yes, I will continue to call it that, because that's basically what it just is.
It's the name of the next expansion.
Vex time fuckery. Yeah.
Destiny 2 time fuckery.
Alright, so here we have it. I cut out a lot of things, so...
By things he means deaths.
Well, yes. I don't think that was much of a secret. But so, a relic spawned in the center of the room where that well of cleansing was. That relic is a nice glowy shield. As you can see, that's Lazy Fire carrying it, actually, right now. And murdering the hell out of harpies with it. And that is the main mechanic for the Templar, the Templar's actual fight. So,
Was that a weapon that we shouldn't be seeing yet, but you just had equipped?
Maybe. It might have been. I don't know.
Cover your eyes.
Anyway. While you have the shield equipped, you gain super meter, just like any other time. However, the shield has its own unique super. And in order to take down the Templar's otherwise impenetrable shield, you have to use the shield super. after you take down the shield, the Templar will trap you, basically, and he will try to teleport elsewhere. And when he teleports, he puts the shield back up, and you have to rinse and repeat the whole cycle again. There's a way to stop him from teleporting, and that is to stand in the specific spot where he's going to be teleporting to, which is denoted by a big, giant, red circle.
Is that how you cheap him out?
No, actually. Well, to do this, to do this fight completely legitimately, you have to kind of balance out between stopping him from teleporting and having to take his shield down again, and then when you have to clean out the adds that spawn. Like, if you stop him from teleporting, he'll spawn a whole ton of minotaurs and other sort of nasties. So you kind of have to gauge where you're at and what you're capable of. So the cheese method involves the shield, and it involves Sunsinger Warlocks. Sunsinger Warlocks, when they super, aside from being able to res themselves, which is the most useful feature of it, they also have an ability to reduce the cooldowns of everyone's grenades around them on their fire team. Now, something very interesting about sticky grenades in this game is that they have some sort of momentum to them, like when they explode. So, if you perchance would manage to stick the shielded boss with a grenade, it would actually move the boss. This encounter area, this arena, is surrounded by a deep bottomless pit. When the Templar has a shield up, he will not teleport. Can you see where this is going?
You coax him down the pit and then you build a concrete barrier on top of it.
Basically. The long and short of it is... The long and short of it is, a Sunsinger pops his ult. You sit in the shield. You don't worry about any oracles that spawn. By the way, the shield has a cleansing ability. I forgot to mention, but it does. So you sit next to the shield. Oh, Sunsinger pops his ult. You all throw sticky grenades at the boss, and you shove him off of his fucking platform here into a bottomless pit from which there is no return.
Does he die?
Yes, he does. I don't know if they fixed that.
He's a Vex. I feel like it would fall forever.
Well, I don't know if it's actually bottomless or what, but I don't know if they fixed it for later versions of the raid, because they did eventually actually re-release the raid as a higher light version for an event not too long before the release of Destiny 2. And hey, look, here's the teleport spot. I jumped in it because our shield man, Lazy Fire, was unable to get there in time.
Beautiful.
And there you have it. That's the Templar done the right way. It's annoying, it's long, and it's... I guess it's a cool encounter. I mean, it was very, very cool the first time we saw it.
Musical sting.
And right here, I'm actually looking for a secret chest and a secret way into the next area. I was right there, basically. I was very, very close by, but I decided to say screw that, and I went the normal way.
I'm disappointed.
I didn't want to spend more time than was necessary. We had already been going for about an hour and a half at that point.
Is that wipes or?
Oh, that's wipes. That's figuring out everything all over again. That's the whole shebang. That's basically us progressing through the Vault of Glass as if it were new.
Hey everybody, the new Destiny 2 raid. To beat the last boss took 6 hours. Don't tell anyone.
It wasn't just the last boss. It was like all but one of the bosses.
The last boss took a long time.
Yeah, I feel like the dogs took long. What dogs? I feel like the second encounter took longer.
Yeah, when I say boss, I should clarify final boss.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
He might as well be Santa Claus. He gives us gifts.
I mean, you
Here-
think about it a little bit, Python, and you'll get the joke.
You'll have to explain it to me later. Anyway, here we're trying to figure out where exactly we're supposed to go, if we took a wrong turn or what. Turns out, no. You jump. And you hope not to die.
Is this Dark Souls 3?
No, it's Dark Souls 2. Try jumping.
That's a weird, subtitle to have for a Souls game. I heard of
boy.
Scholars of the First Sin, but Dark Souls 2 Try Jumping. That's new to me.
So here we are in the Gorgon's Labyrinth. This
the
place
Gorgon.
is... Yeah, that's a Gorgon. It's a harpy, except it's not. This place is... Hey, when did we start playing MGS2 again?
Good job. That's a way to advertise another LP.
Well, the thing is, this is a stealth section.
Mm-hmm.
And it operates on much the same rules as MGS2 does.
Hang on.
And would... Oh?
My future self has visited me and told me this is very familiar.
Alright, so the way it works is this is a labyrinth, and you have to find the exit. However, you got all these Gorgons flying around, and you have to not be seen by any of them, or else you die. That's right, you die
Okay.
if you're just seen by them.
Do you
Any
get
one of
turned
your
to
party.
stone?
No. You get erased from existence, actually. It's
Ooh.
confirmed. It's actually what happens. You get erased from existence. You just... The Gorgons just decide, no, no, you never happened. And
Can your teammates revive you?
No, the whole team wipes if even one person gets spotted here.
Even one. Wow.
Yep. So the way the stealth mechanics in this game work is basically don't sprint, don't double jump, and don't slide anywhere near these guys. Or they will turn and start investigating towards where they found the noise or what have you. You can...
Is it possible to get away from them when they see you?
Nope. It is technically possible to kill them. It just takes a lot of firepower.
And if you're shooting at them, they're going to see you.
Oh, well, if you're shooting at them, generally that means you've already screwed up.
So... chances are you wouldn't most of the time destroy it by the time it's alerted all its friends and you get erased from existence.
Oh, it doesn't alert all its friends. It itself erases you. The one that
That's
found
a strong
you.
harpy. Why don't
yeah.
the Vex just send the Gorgons after the Guardians?
They can't exist anywhere but here.
Hmm.
They literally just cannot. The Vault of
The more
Glass
I
is
learn
literally
about the
Vex
Vex,
magic.
the more I learn about the Vex, the stupider I think they are.
Well, this is what you get when you have a bunch of time and space fuckery.
Very,
Anyway,
very stupid robots.
oh, so I left the one failure in to show you more or less what kind of goes down. This is the completed one, and shortly before this point, Lazyfire had to leave our little crew here, so it's just Amethyr and I for right now. And let me tell you, playing hide and seek with these goddamn Gorgons is, let's call
Are
it
you playing-
nerve-wracking.
You playing hide and seek or Pong?
It's hide and seek, but the soundtrack is Pong.
Let me tell you, Pong had the best soundtrack. The way that ball bleeped off the paddle,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wall, chills
Oh, wait.
every time.
Wait, I'm sorry. I told you I was playing hide and seek, but really, I'm playing Ring Around the Rosie. Look at the rangefinder, the motion tracker there. You see how that red spot in the top left corner didn't move at all? The damn thing was following me around. I was spinning the camera and it was following me around that pillar.
So how long do you have to do this for?
Until you find the exit, which is right here.
And I'm going to guess it's not procedurally generated, it's always the same exit.
It'll always be the same exit, yep. The
So
trick
would it
is
be
remembering where the fuck it is, because it all looks the same.
So if you knew exactly where it was from the start, could you conceivably get very lucky and just run straight to the exit and do that in like 2 seconds?
Well, you still have to worry. The Gorgons are on a timer, so you have to obey the timer, basically. But other than that, yeah, you can go as fast as you want. And welcome to an actual jumping puzzle.
It's the Mega Man jumping blocks, but in 3D.
Yep. The only thing to note there is that when the platforms despawn, they don't actually despawn when the graphic shows they do. They stick around for like an extra second or a second and a half. So you have.
And the other thing, ignore that weapon Python had.
It's a
What
sword.
weapon?
I've already mentioned that swords exist in the game. We've already seen one before.
But they don't exist yet.
Technically. But we're in the Vault of Glass, a Vex stronghold. There's been some time fuckery. Also, Guardian down.
Of course, time fuckery.
Yes.
Destiny 2, time fuckery.
Oh man, and yet another cut because we exited and came back another night to do this, and I'm finally swapping off of the Sunbreaker because it's rather important that I'm a defender for the next encounter. I mean, by which I mean the last encounter. And sorry, I left all the menuing in, but you know, whatever.
How dare you? I'm offended.
Yeah.
I
You
quit.
should be. Goodbye.
I'll take my paycheck at the door.
Well, too bad. You have to go back the entire way through the Vault of Glass first. Good luck with that.
As I understand, it's very sharp and very painful.
Welcome to the Glass Throne. This is not the final boss encounter just yet. You see, the final boss hasn't spawned yet. We have to kill the gatekeeper.
Are you the keymaster?
In this instance, yes. And by keymaster, I mean sniper rifle. And I know, I'm using a sniper rifle. I'm sorry, I had to go back on my challenge, but it's the only possible way to do enough damage to these things before wipe mechanics happen.
It's okay, you get to kiss Corny Weaver.
So, we two-manned this. It wasn't easy. Or, we two-manned this particular segment, and it wasn't simple. We got to a point where it was easy, but it was not simple. You see, first off, we're trying to ignore as many of these ads as we possibly can while just killing that gatekeeper. And once that gatekeeper goes down, we gain access to 2 sync plates on either side of the room. These sync plates open up time gates, and those time gates lead to other gatekeepers and specifically 2 shields that the gatekeepers are holding behind whatever magic they're using.
Time fuckery.
More or less. So we need both of these shields, and there's 2 of us. So basically, one of us has to go in, and the other one has to defend the sync plate, because more Praetorians has finally come back, but more Praetorians spawn, and they'll close the gate.
Trapping the other person in an endless time loop for the rest of their lives.
Yes, in fact, that's what the wipe message says if you're inside and you can't get out, or your teammates outside die.
Yep. And if that happens, you have to rebuy Destiny 2. Destiny 1. What's Destiny
So
2?
anyway, once the first player has his shield, we move to the second sync plate, take it over, and repeat the process, but for the other person instead, because, again, you need both shields. And here we finally see me actually in control of a shield for the time being, until I go back inside and get my own. So, another interesting feature of the raid mechanic is both of these time gates are on different locations at different times. These enemies are called the precursors, the precursor Vex. These are ancient Vex, and they are on Mars. Keep that in mind. On the other side, you have descendant Vex, and they're on Venus. Keep that in mind. Both of these things are very important. And as long as you're in the time gate, you go blind. The shield can cleanse it, but if you're still in the time gate, it'll still try and make you blind.
Right.
Anyway, once you have both shields, you can come back outside and start murdering things, because there's now a conflux in the center of the room that Vex will try and sacrifice themselves for. You have 4 chances. Or rather, you have 3 chances, and then the 4th will kill you if it's sacrificed in there.
Oh, of course.
And after you have after you have both shields, Minotaurs from the precursors and descendants will start pouring through these goddamn gates, trying desperately to get to that complex. It's your job to make sure that they don't. Simple enough.
Is there going to be a complication here, or what?
Nope. That's literally it. In fact, we have just finished that part of the encounter. After that, we have spawned the boss. We don't want to be standing where we're standing right now.
Okay, good, you're moving. I was about to say.
Oh no, we knew. And here's another cut, because we came back yet another time, with more people. We have 5 people in here now, because we cannot 2 or 3 or 4 man this reliably. 2 and 3 won't work for reasons we'll get into in just a moment. 4 people, it's hard because of more reasons we'll get into later. Anyway, the reason you can't 2 or 3 man this fight is because once Atheon decides to do so, he will teleport you and 2 of your closest raid members. I say that as a turn of phrase, not actually closest in proximity. But he'll teleport you and 2 of your teammates into one of the time gates. Now, it's different this time, because oracles will spawn. You have to kill all the oracles. You also have to grab the shield. It's absolutely paramount. You grab the shield and you do this, because you're still going blind in here. And we'll see why another reason is in just a few moments. So, the reason I told you to keep in mind which destinations and which Vex you're killing is because you have to call out which side you're on so that the teammates outside can actually get you the fuck out of here.
Right.
And if you weren't the one teleported in, you have to listen to the instructions and get to the right time gate and open that shit up quick. All the while, you're accosted by explosive fucking harpies. They will actively try and seek you out and explode right in your face. My advice? Don't get exploded. Simple enough.
So that explains why you can't do it with 2 or 3, but why not 4?
Because the supplicants, the explosive harpies, they're
you
too
don't have
many to
enough
kill by
firepower.
yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, once you get the shield out, and this is why I'm using Defender Titan, once you get the shield out, that shield person gets to press L1 for the entire rest of the fight, because it stops all incoming damage. And that times vengeance buff increases all of your damage by loads, as well as the weapons of light buff from stepping into the area I popped in the back of the platform there.
Seems like a standard Destiny fight.
Yeah. All in all, the Atheon fight went a lot faster because there were 5 people of much higher level instead of just, 2 or 3. But honestly, with a decked out raid team, you could have done that in 2 cycles. No problem. And, as is customary, dance party after the boss.
Of course. Why wouldn't there be?
So that's it. That's the Vault of Glass. Next up, the Dark Below.